a podcast where you don't need an invite to join the conversation. Welcome to Add Me to the Group Chat. We goal set. So we sit down, everybody gets their own paper, and you just write out what you want. Keep it very simple. But we write out what you want to do this year. And I told her immediately, I was like, I don't normally do stuff like this, but it's your 3-year anniversary and this would be kind of cool. Yeah. And I would, I'm interested in it. And then my husband was like, you have to do it for yourself. And I'm like, I know. And if she does want my products in the shop, how nice would it be for me to be there and meet people? Why the heck am I here setting up? Why did you even ask me to be here if you don't want to introduce me to people? It's almost like, imagine this. You went to what's a good example? You went to a Christmas party and you just randomly popped in because one person told you, hey, come to my house for this Christmas party, right? That's the only person you knew. You walked in and 400, 300, 200 people were there. Several hundred people were there, mingling, talking, having a fun time. And you don't know anyone, and the hostess doesn't introduce you to anyone. That feeling. I think it is time management, because I do sometimes struggle with that, because I'm like, while my kids are in school, I just have to work. And then when they're out of school, I'm managing the home, but hi, you guys. Welcome to Add Me to the Group Chat. I'm your girl, Amber, and I am so excited that you're here for this solo podcast. Sometimes I think can I really sing? And I think that I can, but can I? I don't know. I think it'd be really cool to do singing lessons. Let me know if you've ever had singing lessons and it went bad, or it was a good experience. If they're like, I don't know why you booked this session, but please leave. Anyways, I love to sing out loud and just I goof off singing, but then sometimes I'm like, well, I think that sounded good. Anyways, just let me know. But you did read what this was going to be about. And it is what this year has taught me as a woman, mama, and a creator, and a wife, you guys too. So yeah, just all the things about this year. I cannot believe, when I think about it, I'm like, how is it 2025? But then I'm like, oh, we're in 2026 now. How is this a thing? You guys, it just is mind blowing. And I actually don't know when this episode's going to go out. Is it 2026 or is it 2025? As I'm recording it, it's 25, but it feels surreal that I'm even saying that, because I don't even know how. When we get older, though, time does fly by. And I do find that to be really true. This year has really flown by. Right now, I have celebrated. We had our daughter Tinley 13 years ago. We had Maddox. He turns 12 this year, 12 years ago. And Cruz 10 years ago. We had him. And I'm like, I feel like I just gave birth to y'all in the hospital. So how are y'all this old? And I feel like we just moved into this home that I'm sitting in right now. I record this podcast in the lounge of this home, which I'm like, we bought this home. It was all the things. It was so special and amazing. But we have created so many awesome memories in this house. And this is the home the kids have really remembered and grown up in. And that's really cool. And I'm just like, man, this year's really flown by. Everybody's getting old, and so many memories have been made this year. And I don't know. I just don't even know what to expect next year, to be honest. I know we always go into a new year with these high expectations and, goals and success, and bring more calmness and do more things. And that's always what we want. And I'm thinking this year is going to be really cool to reflect as a family, though, because I will tell you what we do as a family is, within the first week of January, we sit down and we go over what we want to accomplish this year. But we also reflect on what we said last year. And we don't just say it. I think this year I want to do something a little bit different, since the kids are getting older. But I'll tell you what we do, and then you'll understand why I say different. Because I don't mean different, but and let me get to it. So we goal set. So we sit down, everybody gets their own paper, and you just write out what you want. Keep it very simple. But we write out what you want to do this year. And I'm like, whatever it is, dream big, but think of like daily things too. And so the kids say things and we write them down, and then we kind of decorate the paper. Like, you can kind of draw on it or whatever. And then I'm like, okay. And then we put it up in their rooms. But then, a couple months go by and then they come out of their rooms and then they go in my desk drawer, which I still have all of them. So, we sit down and we reflect on, okay, what was on our list the following year, and did we do it, and why not? Or if we did, how did we feel about it? And whatever. And I think this year what I want to go do, I know magazines are not like this most popular thing anymore, but they are still a thing, and they're very, very relevant in a sense of like they're still out there, but also we have the internet, and so we can print things. So I want to create a collage with the kids. I think that's going to be really cool. If you follow my social media, I will post if we end up doing that way. And sometimes I post it and sometimes I don't. As a family, I'll have to get into this too as a creator, but sometimes like we do a lot as a family that I don't share publicly. Not that I'm like this big time person online. I know my podcast is just getting started. I've been very much consistent online doing social media for my own businesses and things. And it's been really fun, but I'm like, I just like to keep some stuff personal, right? But so like the collage would be really cool. Like, oh, you want to go ski XYZ, or you want to go travel here. Let's get an image of that, and keep it in their rooms and keep it very present and in their face so they see it. And so I think that at this age, like they are 10 and 12, like we are so like, I remember 10 and 12, like I remember things, and I just want it to be a positive experience when you set a goal and you don't make it, or you don't do it, or you have expectations for an upcoming year and then you forget about it, and then you just continue on. So I think it would be really fun to do that with them. And that'll probably just be really cool. Now that this lounge is a thing, our dining room, we had that big table in there too, but we can just like have things all on the table and use the floor and just like make it a fun thing. Now, if my boys want to sit down and be still and do that and have fun with me, sometimes they're just like, I want to go ride my four-wheeler. They just want to get outside and play, which I love, but I think that'll be really, really impactful. I enjoy doing that too. And Alan is very much like supportive, like, yeah, let's do it. That'll be cool. So yeah, we can kind of do that with them, and that's really cool. So now I'll tell you what I feel like this past year, we did have written down that we wanted to take a really big trip. We said this 2 years ago. I've been saying it for a long time, but 2 years ago, we want to take a really big trip. And the prior year we didn't, because two big events happened that year that were not really planned. And then we learned about them, and I was like, oh, okay. So that kind of like threw everything off for that summer. But then I was like, okay, we've got to do it the next year. And so we did, and it was awesome. And the kids have said our trip to Hawaii was one of the best vacations they've ever had. And I will have to agree. It was epic. Like, we're going back. I'm like, oh, I think we should live in Hawaii, guys. Like, let's just move. Take the whole family with us. Like, that is honestly, it was the coolest experience. And so we did do that, and we did do a lot of things. So I'm actually interested. I kind of forgot what was on my list as far as other smaller things, but I want to look into that. But we also talk about like who we want to give to. Do we want to donate to here? Who do we want to support? Like different things like that, like charitable more things that really are meaningful to our family. And so that means a lot. So it's not like selfish stuff. Like we want to go here, even though that's very valid, but then also like growth, like what are things that you want to see change within yourself, to be a better person for you and others and things like that. So we definitely have fun doing that. So I really think as a family, even if it's just you as a solo or you and a spouse, or you and your children, I think you should definitely do that and make that more of a traditional thing. And that has been for us. And I enjoy it. And I hope that the kids really grow to enjoy this and do this even after they move out and have their own families. I could cry saying that, but that's what we really want for our children, is to be amazing adults one day. So my growth moments also, I will have to tell you, like, especially as a woman, is being more aware, self-aware of my body and what it's saying and how it responds to things. And I think this year more than ever, I've listened to my body. I'm like, I am tired, so I'm going to rest. I mentally can't handle that, so I'm not going to do it. And I am verbal more than ever with my words when it comes to that. Or I'm like, I actually don't want to go there. I don't want to attend this event. I'm just like, no. Or if there's things I really want to do, I'm like, no, I really want to do that. I want to do that. I would enjoy it. Like, I'm very vocal about let's go, whatever. So growth moments for me, I would think, is like speaking up and speaking out. And that used to be really hard for me because some people would probably beg to differ, but I feel like sometimes I'm a people pleaser and I'm like, well, if everybody wants to do it, I guess I'll do it. Like, whatever. Like, I'm definitely going to gripe about it, but if y'all want to do it, I guess I'll go and do it, but now I'm like, bump it. I was like, if y'all want to go, now y'all have a good time. I'm going to be right here. I'm cool with that. And so I just think now this year, the growth moments for me are definitely listening to my body, knowing my boundaries, and sticking to that. And that, I think I need to get better, but that right there, I can see the growth happening. I think the older I become, I'm going to probably find myself not talking back, keeping my mouth shut, not saying something. And sometimes saying something is saying something. Do you know what I mean? And so I think the older I get, the more I'm going to be not just knowing that, but I'm going to act in that, and I'm be like, I ain't saying nothing, you know what I mean? Because I'm just going to let them have that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, growth moments for me for sure. And I can see how I need to grow more in that area. And as a mom growing, I was told this the other day that every day for us is always brand new. This day we're about to go into is going to be brand new for every single one of us. Me as a mom, Alan as a husband, and Maddox and Cruz as the children. This is brand new for every single one of us. We don't know. We've never been this age. We've never dealt with this. Like, all of it, these emotions, all the things. And so I want to be a better mom. I yell a lot, which is really frustrating for me. So if you're a mom listening and you can relate, please tell me that. Because we get to a point of, I've said it 3 times to you. So now my voice has escalated. Yes, I'm at a level 20. Cool. And my body feels the pain. And I have been very verbal about that this year. I'm like, my brain hurts. My heart hurts. My physical body hurts. I am done. And I use that word a lot. I'm like, I'm done. I'm tapped out. I am mentally done. Like, I'm just done. And so, being a parent, I just want to be better. I want to control my mouth. And that just means like what I said is what I said. That is it. And I'm not saying it again. And just like giving my children more of the natural consequences, and myself too. The natural consequence in me losing my cool is now my body hurts. And now I'm going to suffer from that all day today until I start over tomorrow. But I'm sure more stuff internally is happening that I'm unaware of. So that's really frustrating. So I just want to I'm so okay with saying I don't do things well. I'm okay with that because I am not perfect. And as much as I would like to think I am, I'm not perfect. I don't do things perfect. Like, I'm actually terrible and I'm so mean and I'm so annoying. Do you see what I mean? Like, I am like sometimes too honest with myself, but then I'm also like, no, I'm fabulous. Like, I'm actually the best. And so just growing in the areas that I know are weak, and I just want to be stronger and more confident in that. And starting therapy back, I think is going to really be awesome. And growth in like being a creator online, I feel like I've always shown up as my authentic self. If you watch my true content and you are a consumer of my content, you know that. But sometimes it was way too polished, or I thought I had to be a certain way. And I'm not that anymore. And I'm like, no, I look a mess, and that's okay. Who am I impressing? No, none of y'all. Yes, I curled my hair and I put on some makeup today. Okay, cool. Because I want to do that for myself. I'm not trying to impress y'all. I will show up crazy looking on this camera, right? But I want to have growth moments of like just even being way more authentic and sharing real moments and just continuing to stay true to myself with that. Yeah, those are definitely things that I want to grow in. And I will have to say too, like, I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to humiliate myself in a sense of, I will say this though, I've learned that I am I thought I was more of an extrovert for growing up because I was always talking and talkative, and I just would like come in a room and I would just want to take over. And I know now, I'm going to tell y'all an embarrassing story, but I know now I'm like, I am uninterested in I about ate that mic. I'm uninterested in putting myself in situations that I already know going into I'm uncomfortable and I don't want to do it. And so I will say this, I'm going to tell y'all a story. I went to some boutiques in a local area downtown. And I was like, oh my gosh, how freaking dope would it be to have my products in these boutiques or a boutique or whatever. And so people can shop my products online. They can get it from a local boutique. It kind of is like a women helping women. Like I can promote the boutique because my things are in it, vice versa, whatever. So I go into this place and I just like actually went in to purchase I was actually like going in to buy clothes, but then I was like, oh, y'all actually have handmade like body care here. And she's like, yeah. So we kind of have this conversation, and long story short, it turns into, yes, bring me your products. I would love to try them. And if it turns into something, yeah, I could potentially could carry them here. I'm like, cool. So, and I was talking to the owner of the shop. So anyways, I ended up taking my products to her. And then I think it was maybe after that or before that, she had asked, hey, do you want to, we're having like a 3-year anniversary for my company, my shop here in this area. Do you want to come and be like a vendor and set up your products along with some other ones that I can put you on the flyer? And we're probably going to have like 300 and something people in and out of the door that day. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, and I told her immediately, I was like, I don't normally do stuff like this, but it's your 3-year anniversary and this would be kind of cool. Yeah. And I would, I'm interested in it. And then my husband was like, you have to do it for yourself. And I'm like, I know. And if she does want my products in the shop, how nice would it be for me to be there and like meet people? So back history, I used to do vendor events all the time, but for another company. And I would always put myself out there constantly, and I was always rejected. I mean, I had a lot of success, but I mean, when you put yourself out there like that, you're going to have people that just like don't want what you have, right? So I knew, if you listen to the last podcast, when I got to a certain age, I was not putting myself out there like that anymore. I was like, I don't want to. I don't need to. I don't need this. I'm not doing it. And so I just stopped doing it. And I just told myself I'm never doing it again. Unless it was like my own pop-up somewhere. Cool. Like, of course. But I'm not doing it for someone else. But I did in this situation. I shouldn't have. But anyway, so I went into it and no one could help me set up. Alan was actually out of town that weekend hunting. The kids actually had to get help. I never, ever, ever, ever want to hire help anymore for my children or ask family, can you watch my kids while I go to work? I don't want to do that anymore because you know why? I don't have to. But in this situation, I needed to because I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go set up at this thing. I need help with the kids. And it was just this whole thing. And so I, as a parent, I don't miss sports. I don't miss anything. And so I'm like, I'm going to miss their XYZ because I have to go do this thing. And so that just already sucked and I hated that feeling. And then Alan was already out of town. So that really sucked because if I have to do something, I know they're with their dad and it's great. And not that they're with family and it's not, you know what I mean? It's just as a parent, you just want to do it as a parent. They're your responsibility. And so I went to this thing and I set up and I got there and I immediately already had told her up front, I cannot set up outside. It's going to be too hot. My products will melt. I have body butter. It's not going to work. And they just cannot have that much heat on them. It'll damage the product. So she had me inside with the air conditioning. Let me just tell you the experience. One of the girls beside me was super kind. I'd actually never met her before, but a friend of mine knows her. And so it was kind of like, oh, I kind of know your face. Like, and we just kind of chit-chatted, made small talk. She was super kind and it was great. But the agenda of the owner there was never to promote any of the vendors except what was going to benefit her. She didn't want commission off of what I sold that day. She already told me that up front. She didn't ask for me to pay to be there or anything like that. But I was thinking this would just make sense if she likes my products. And she had already had them for like 3 weeks to try. Come to find out she had not, from my knowledge, not tried my products. And I was there setting up and it was about her that day, which it should be. But I was never introduced. I didn't know any person that walked in the door except for one person that came in that I actually knew and have known for years. And she's like, I heard that you were going to be here and I saw and I came and I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. And she bought some stuff. And I think like a handful of people bought some of my products, but because I actually said something to them. But I was like, I don't know these people. This is your anniversary day. Why the heck am I here setting up? Why did you even ask me to be here if you don't want to introduce me to people? Like, it's almost like, imagine this. You went to what's a good example? You went to a Christmas party and you just randomly popped in because one person told you, hey, come to my house for this Christmas party, right? That's the only person you knew. You walked in and 400, 300, 200 people were there. Several hundred people were there. Mingling, talking, having a fun time. And you don't know anyone and the hostess doesn't introduce you to anyone. That feeling where you're like, why am I here? These are not my people. I should not be here. I don't need to be here. I should be with my family right now. Like, all these thoughts are going through my head and I'm actually getting kind of annoyed and angry. And I'm like, I need to go. So I stayed there for several hours. A couple of people popped in. I was like, hey, take a sample, try something, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, my personality is big, but I'm not going to take over. This is not my day. This is not my shop. If it was my shop and it was my day, I would have taken over the whole show and I would have controlled it. Do you know what I'm saying? No doubt. But it wasn't. I was humiliated. I was embarrassed. And I'm like, I am 39. I should never feel like a high school kid being excluded from a party that I was invited to as a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the feeling. So I left a little bit early. Went up to her and I was like, listen, I got to go. And I'll tell you this too. I even had to use the bathroom and I was like, I need to use the restroom. Do y'all have a bathroom in here? She's like, well, it's really not for public or whatever. Nobody really uses it. But I mean, like, yeah, you can go back here and use it. Like, already felt like, girl, I could, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, what is that? Like, okay, you want me to go down the street? I am like a vendor setting up in your shop and I can't use your bathroom. It was just weird. And so it just got weird vibes. And it was almost like the vibe of like, I'm better than you vibe. And she don't know me. She don't know me from Adam. She just knows me from coming in her shop. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, the sad part is you actually don't know me. You don't know the people I know. You don't know the connections I have. And you kind of screwed yourself, girlfriend. So you treated me bad and now you're going to pay. You know, that's kind of the thought. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I have really told this story to a lot of people and many of them been like, I will never go shop there again. So it was just a really bad experience. So I told her, listen, I got to leave. I got to go home to my kids. I got a sitter for this and I got to go. So I was like, I don't need to be here any longer. So I left. I packed up everything myself and then I asked one of her employees to help me take my stuff to my car. It was so hot and so crowded on the streets and I'm in freaking high heels. It was just a lot. And I was like, yeah, I need some help. And it seemed like she kind of had an attitude with me about that. It was just a very weird vibe. And I left. I sat on it. I had an emotional breakdown in my truck about it, called my husband, called my best friends. And I was like, I don't even know why I was there. This was crazy. And then told them everything and they were like shocked. Like, that is wild. And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, I just shouldn't have been there. It was her day. And I'm like, I'm 39. I'm too big for this. I'm too grown for this. This is crazy. I had made some social media posts about it. No big deal. I deleted everything. And I'm like, I don't even want to be associated. I don't even want to be associated. I sent her a message and I told her how disappointed I was. But I told her, honestly, that's on me because I never should have shown up. It was your day. You should have done it. I tell y'all this story, you guys, because I even said this in the last podcast. I don't care who you are. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I don't care. But I'm also going to take responsibility. I shouldn't have been there, and I should have said no. It was your day, and you should have just had it. And it was not your responsibility to sit there and introduce me to everybody, but it should have been known, Amber, I'm not going to introduce you to people, so you're going to have to speak up. And I would have been like, cool, I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to take over your day. I'm not going to take sales from you. And not that it would have. I mean, we sold 2 different things, but she was definitely like promoting all of her stuff, which was fine. And I say all that because that was probably one of the first times in probably 6 years that I was like actually publicly humiliated in a way that it hurt the inside of my body. And I'm like, I will never do it again. And so I have just learned a lot about myself. I'm going to say no to these things. These are my boundaries, and I'm not going to put up with it. She did kind of backward hand apologize because that was not her intention, is what she had told me. But I'm like, that's it. Like, I forgive, but I will never forget. And how you treat somebody is really huge to me. I've definitely treated people bad through my life. I'm not saying I've been perfect to everybody, but I will tell you this. I was way younger and way immature, and I've matured, and those that I've ever hurt, and, I've definitely taken ownership and responsibility for that. So I'm not perfect at all, but in a business situation, I would have never been like that. Yeah, insane, right? So I will now have to just tell you guys like things that like what I've kind of learned in my 30s to 39 and where I want to go is I just want to be better when it comes to leadership within my home, with my children, and being a better spouse and allowing, Al, he leads our family very well. And I say leadership in a way of like, not like taking over, but I just want to like lead it, be a good example and lead in the right direction. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not always about what you say and you're like, but it's monkey see, monkey do. If someone sees you doing certain things, well, actions speak louder than words. So that's what I mean by like leader. And I just want to be a really good example for my kids and for others around me. And, I hope and pray that for you as well. I also, my goodness, you guys, this is really, I kind of like go back and forth with this a lot in my head, and I don't understand what my problem is with this. I think it is time management, because I do sometimes struggle with that, because I'm like, while my kids are in school, I just have to work. And then when they're out of school, I'm like managing the home, but I'm so good about my self-care routines, but I'm not very good at my mental, spiritual, relationship building with God routine. Do you know what I mean? And being in my Bible every day is a priority for me that I'm not putting first. And I'm really having a hard time with that, with just doing it, making the time and just doing it. And I will tell you, when I did that consistently before, oh my gosh, was my mental state so much better. And when I was in therapy consistently, even though it was very hard, I had a lot of like, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of, not examples, a lot of tools. That's the word I'm looking for, tools. A lot of tools in my toolbox for my mental health. And I just really want to, I feel like I go in layers, and I'm sure you're like this too. It's like, okay, I take all my vitamins, right? Like I'm working on my internal part of my body. So I take my vitamins for like my body health. Now I'm in the gym and I'm doing that for my physical health. Now I'm eating correctly and I know what to eat and kind of routines to go with that. And now my mental health for stability and like boundaries and tools and things to use to like get me through life and all the things, right? And it's like now my spiritual health. Right? Like I need Christ. I need to lean on him more. And I have to sometimes take things in bite-sized pieces, because when you feel like you're a mess all over the board, it is so exhausting to get it together because you feel like you're drowning. And so I have, through the end of my 30s, I have been taking bite-sized pieces and I've been consistent with this. Check. Now, what's the next thing I need to be more consistent with? Check. And then I feel like I've really gotten to a good place of like, I can start back being more consistent with in my Bible and building that relationship better with Christ and understanding him more. And y'all, let me tell y'all something though. The Bible is cray cray. There is good, there is bad, there is evil, there is all the things, right? It is savage. And so it's like, some people are like, oh my gosh, so good, good, good. I'm like, we've got to understand there is so much to be learned from the Bible. And when you think about it, I'm like, I could use this every day in my life right now. My life is wild and crazy. Like I can use these examples of what happened, in back in the day. And I'm like, anyways, I'm like, I can just really be implementing what I'm reading and learning and things to put into my daily walk with Christ. And my therapist is a Christian. So that is awesome to also have that layer factor. And so she's given me sound advice. So I really think that I've reflected a lot, and I still will continue to reflect, but this year's really taught me a lot about myself and how I just want to do better and be better. And so set up a time with your family and do some goal setting and have fun with it. Go get magazines. I'm going to go buy some magazines, you guys. I'm going to go get magazines and we're just going to have fun. And even in the magazines too, like using letters and words and stuff, and go get glue sticks. And we have like a whole thing here in the lounge that like holds like the kids stuff. So I encourage you to do that too. So if you do it and you just want to like privately like DM, y'all are the queens at a DM. Let me tell you something. Y'all will stay not commenting, but y'all will DM me all day. Y'all are funny. Which I get it. You know, you're like, I don't want to say this publicly or something like that. Like I get it, but have fun. And I'm going to do the same thing. And I will probably post it to my stories more than likely instead of like my feed. So follow along for that. But I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be really, really cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all right now, if y'all have not heard of my product brand, what are you doing? I know I put my ads in the podcast and stuff, so go check it out. Oh my gosh, go to my website. My products are very affordable, very luxurious, clean ingredients that are safe for you and your whole family. But girl, don't be sharing it with your whole family, honey. Cruz was in my shower the other day. Maddox normally goes in my shower, but Cruz was in mine. And he was like, Mom, can I use your body scrub? And I'm like, yes. I was thinking, boy, if you waste it, I'm going to bust you up. No, they love my products. They really do love them. And that makes me really happy because they're supportive because it's what mommy does and what, I enjoy doing, but they actually do truly like my products. So it makes me really happy. So they're safe for your whole family. And yes, I hope that you enjoyed today's podcast. Thank you so much for being here and reflect, take it in, all the things. I think it's really good for you to do. And I am so thankful that we are going into 2026. That is wild. Well, Happy New Year to you guys. I love you so much. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the holiday fun stuff. It's been a joy and a pleasure, and it's been so fun, and I'm ready for a whole new year. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know this and you do have young kids, go on YouTube and search, I think it's like New Year's 2026 countdown, and like whatever time you put the kids to bed, if it's like 7, 8, 9 or something like that, I think we let them stay up till like 8 or 9. I think it's like more like 9 o'clock. We always do a countdown at 9. So they get to do like, it like plays music and it's like fun and it's colorful on your TV. And then it does like the whole countdown thing. And then they get to see like a ball drop and like, just the fun confetti. And then we do like sparkling cider, and it's really cute. And then we toasted the new year. So I like them to still have fun as like we are celebrating this together. I'm just big on like, we're gonna do this as a family. So yeah, I love it. All right, well, thank you guys for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Follow, subscribe, do all the things, so it really helps the podcast grow. You're the best, and I'll see you later.